Hello, this is Lisa Russick.
And Donna Murphy.
With the podcast, we are all psychic, and today we have Kimmie. Kimmie, would you like to say hello?
Hello.
As she says hello, with a musical melodic voice. And if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can look at her pretty floating head. She didn't want to be a floating head, but she is not a floating head. She looks great. And we have a question for you, Kimmie, right away. Do you think that we're all psychic?
I think everyone is psychic, but they forget how to connect.
Yeah. Why do you think they forget?
Very true.
I feel like it's a lot of social conditioning, and I don't feel like people were really meant to. I know that people were not meant to come here to just work and not have time for rest and not have time for introspection.
Right.
And when you don't have time to have an identity outside of making money or working or doing something that is otherwise very stressful, or even like double shifting as a mom, it's very hard to remember that we're all part of source, right? Like we're all part of the same thing, and we're all master creators and master manifestors. And we have access to that information and to other realms, but it's very hard to remember that when you're inundated and you don't
have anything else, so you don't have time to think about that kind of stuff. It seems like people don't let you in our society.
Does?
Yeah.
You have to plan days off to go to the park for 2 hours. Who has time to tap into their psychic abilities, right? But it's all there. It's all there.
They're using them all the time is what I think. People are always doing it, and they don't even know when they're doing it. And I think, like, I pointed it out to people when they ask, well, what if they're asking about, well, you're a psychic. What do you do? What's it like? And I'll be like, well, I do this podcast. I think we're all psychic. And I'll say to them, I think you're doing this and this and this. And I'll ask them what their experiences are and kind of show them where they're already using their energy if I can pick up on it, how they're doing it, Like a lot of people can kind of pick up on telepathy. Some people are more empathic and, like stuff like that. Everybody's using those too, is what I think most of the time without knowing it, if they have that skill. And if they've been working with it all their lives in some way, So listeners and watchers, Kimmie is, among other things, an animal communicator. She does it all, man. Before the podcast, we talked for like 30 minutes. And she was telling us that we had creatures around us. I have fairies and mermaids. And Donna, she has fire. I think, what was it, fire you saw with her?
We saw a lot of fire element, and I feel like a forest witch. And there are fairies too, and that kind of goes hand in hand with a forest witch. But there's a big energy in you, Donna, that I think is just a self-confidence issue to not see that, right? Like we don't always see our higher selves. Like you have a deep connection with your higher self, but I think sometimes, like in our 3D reality that we co-create, right, with the universe, it's hard to remember who you really are at your core. And you're totally this fire witch. And you're like this forest fire witch, and you're so cool.
Does this feel anything when you look at this?
Yes.
See, I have a friend who's a fire witch, and she can't be around fire because she makes it explode. See, does it with Donna. Oh, it's normal. Keep looking at it, Donna. See if it.
Oh.
No, I was thinking about it. It kind of sputtered a little bit. But I had a roommate like that too, and both this friend Akasha Prime and this roommate, when I use my torch around them and when they're in a good mood, it would go big. Like I could have had that roommate, because if she was in a bad mood, my torch wouldn't work.
Oh, that's very inconvenient.
I bet Donna could be like, yeah, that was crazy. That was really weird. Weird stuff happens, So tell us.
You know what I think does happen too a lot of times, whatever you want to say, whatever we're naturally gifted with, whatever we kind of come into this world with, two things that we were just talking about. One is we're living at this sort of accelerated speed, right? Yes. And everything, is fast. Everything gets done fast, and there's a lot. We have busy lives, busy, noisy lives. So it's hard to hear, like you said, your intuition, your inner voice, your psychic abilities. The other thing that I think happens is And these two may or may not be related. But another thing that I think happens is if at any point, and I think it happens more for women, but certainly not exclusively, is this idea that you have to kind of I don't want to say dumb yourself down, but damp yourself down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of
Calm
put your
down. Sit down.
you gotta put your light under you gotta put your light under a bushel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some people think it's too much, or some people don't understand it, or
Yeah.
some people are threatened by it, or million reasons. But the fact is, I think we start to compress, we start to make ourselves
Yeah.
smaller.
It's kind of
Absolutely.
around people who take action and people who react. There's like those two types of people. Well, there's a third type of person that does both, or fourth person who does neither, I guess. But
Mhm.
it is kind of like that. It's the taking action and saying what you're going to do are two totally different things,
Yeah.
and wanting to do something, but actually taking action around things is basically the magician card in the tarot, I think, and that's where we are using our energy when we make a decision and move forward in our lives, even if it's a negative direction. I think the decision making is conscious, but I think our energy is involved in that in some way. Like I kind of think of our energy, Kimmie, as like a system like a system, a part of
Yeah.
us, like a part of our essence and our body and everything. I imagine you have that, or I don't know what y'all think, but I imagine it's kind of what y'all think. But it just seems like oh, this cat is distracting me. I'm sorry. He's like
You're
playing with my
fine.
fingertips in my lap, and he's being just adorable. Anyway, so,
He's like, you're talking about animal communication. I
yeah,
want
let's
to be
talk
part of
about animal
that.
communication. That's why he's here. He wants to talk to you. I think he's
Yeah,
like
he's like, you know
he
what?
doesn't usually
I'm up
come.
for this.
Yeah, it's usually Gandalf is the one who's at the podcast, but this is Einstein, and he wants to see you. I think. So tell
He
us about how
does.
you got started with animal communication.
So I have there was not like an aha moment for me. So I've always had the connection. I don't remember a time when I wasn't a medium, when I wasn't doing like, I
Really?
don't want to call it like intuitive. Yeah, 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 yeah. I just came into this world with a lot of remembrance and I was like, this is what I'm here to do.
That is so
Deal
cool.
with it.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
wonderful.
I haven't really experienced not being able to do those things. And so like I call everybody else muggles, which is, like in a playful way. But we really do all have access to that. So like I
Yeah.
actually teach classes on animal communication and that sort of thing, because animal communication, I feel anyway, is like the absolute easiest telepathic communication that you can have. It's much easier than with a person.
Yeah,
On a
yeah. People
person.
Yeah.
hide. Animals don't. They don't hide
Yeah.
stuff.
No, and also like, should you always ground yourself and do your bubble of protection and all that? Yes. Should you? I have a habit of every time I do a reading, I wash my hands really well. It's like
Mhm.
my way
That's a
of
good
cutting, like
idea.
I kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
and then I
I
wash my
like
hands.
that. I do the
Well,
pull the energy off like Reiki, like
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
you
Well,
Yeah.
know.
Where you
even if
pull it off you and yeah.
so I do that and kind of wipe myself down with debris, but like, or from debris, but with animals. Animal communication is not like mediumship. You don't have to wonder who you're talking to. You're talking to Einstein, right? Like you're talking to the cat, and he's not there to hurt you. He's there to say, "Well, I'd really like Lisa to know this, and I've been trying to tell her this, but
Like, I
she
need
has."
more treats. They're losing weight right now, so he may be fussing about lack of food. So they're on a diet. This is
Poor
She's
baby.
rough.
starving us. She's starving
She's
us.
They love
um
it. They're getting more active and stuff, and they've lost about a pound or two each. Oh,
I
big
think
boys.
it wouldn't be a bad idea to give him in particular a probiotic. Just
Probiotic, really? Okay.
Yeah, because he's kind of showing me he has bad poops sometimes. And if is he like kind of having,
Well, it's actually Gandalf that seems
is
to
it
have
Gandalf?
troubles.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Because somebody having bad poops, and I think a probiotic would be good for both of them.
Gandalf
But
is like got swelling in his
yeah,
guts and stuff sometimes, and like
yeah,
he doesn't eat too much. It just kind of backs like constipation. So I'd gotten him some kind of like drops for constipation.
got
That
you.
helped him more than Gandalf. Actually, it helped him like use the box. He usually poops outside the box because he's so big,
Yeah, yeah,
and he has to like get in his position and stuff. But for some reason, he started using the box when I was using I guess because it was more watery or something. But it wasn't
It was
watery; it
probably
was just normal.
easier.
It's like
it was just
consistency.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Got you.
Yeah, I'll look into that for them. I'm going to be taking them to the vet soon for their shots. So,
Oh,
ask about.
yeah. Uh, and we can talk more after the show too, but I kind of think, yeah, I would just get some blood work done on Gandalf. I don't think it's anything terrible. I just, like when I see it, it feels very like, it feels very impacted.
He's hard though.
Yeah, it feels very impacted. Very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Probiotics would help, but he probably needs a little something extra. It might be that you have to get like lactulose or something, but I
Okay.
actually think I would ask your vet about this too, like a digestive enzyme, because if
Hmm.
he gets like a digestive enzyme plus like the pro and prebiotics, that should fix that issue because it just feels so like compacted up here. I guess
He's
the technique
listening.
might be
He's listening.
impacted.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like finally, but
He's back
digest.
switching. He's back just went twitch, 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 twitch.
Yeah.
But I think digestive enzymes would be good for him. I do not
Thank
think
you.
Einstein needs those. I think Einstein would do well with probiotics and
Thank
prebiotics,
you.
but
Okay.
I would look into digestive
I
enzymes.
will. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I will
So,
definitely do that.
so animals like to come in and say things like that,
Okay.
right? So that's example A.
That's cool.
so,
That is so cool, man. That's great. Yeah, usually
so
when I communicate with animals, if they have a health issue, if I ask them, they'll tell me. It's kind of how that works most of the time.
gotcha.
But when I've communicated with them, they're usually talking about their owners, you know, and stuff
Yeah,
like that. You know, like I'm really worried about them. All they do is stress out about this, you know, and I want to help them feel better about it, you know, stuff like that. Or I
yeah.
want those treats, you know, or something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
You quit giving me
sometimes
those
it's
treats, man.
I had this beagle once who I was doing, it was like the cutest thing I've ever experienced. I've talked to all sorts of animals, and we'll kind of talk about like how animal communication works for me anyway, and what I have also seen whenever trying to work with like trying to teach other people how to do animal communication. And that way, like your listeners can also hear this and have something to practice with at home.
Right, right.
Um, and
That's
like some
great.
different methods and some different practices.
That's,
Because we all have that ability. It's just, again, it's remembering, right?
yeah.
Animals make it easy too. But I had this beagle and I was working this Halloween event. And so all the critters were dressed up, right? And I had just seen this Vizsla, and this Vizsla was like, telling me, he was like, well, it's my life's purpose to find people. And I asked the lady that he was with, I was like, is he a search and rescue dog? And she said, well, he's only 6 months old, but he's huge because he's a Vizsla. And she said, but he's training to be a search and rescue dog. And I said, he's done this so many times in the past. Um,
Oh,
and
he
and
remembered.
he took.
Do they remember their lives?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah. They plan it out. Your animals plan out being with you. They are way more
I
psychic than any
figured. I
person.
figured they're more in control than people are aware. Not in control,
Way
but you know
more.
what's going on. Big
Oh
time.
yeah.
Oh, they know more than we do. I think because I mean they're literally close to the ground, but they're
Well,
paying attention. They got nothing else to do, you know,
well,
but look out the windows and look and see what their person's doing, and they pay a lot of attention. You know,
they
it's
do pay
almost
a
a
lot of
thing.
attention, and they're also, I mean, they are nature,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So animals are sacred healers and sacred knowers, and so like
yeah.
they are nature. And so when you look at, okay, well, who is the closest to God? That's the animals, animals, non-human animals.
Mhm.
And so even though I argue that we're all God, but anyway,
We
Mhm.
are. I believe that too. I believe we really are all God. And
yeah,
that's not coming from a place obviously of ego, like I'm God.
no,
It's
Like
it's
it's a
Source, the kind
true,
of thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's a true recognition that really we are all one. We are
mhm.
one big energy entity.
Yeah, we're like
Yeah,
a
And
big
that,
ball of love, really, but
yeah, and
sometimes
that
it
when we
goes
and that
wrong.
when we come into being in the 3D reality in a physical body as a human or whatever,
yeah,
that is a separation, or at least it's the appearance of separation, but it's the only
yes,
way we can know oneness. The only way, it's like the only way you can know that everything is one is first you have to have that duality. You have to
yeah,
That's
understand
true. That's true.
the separation and then the illusion of separation, because it really is
yes,
only an illusion. And then you go back to that consciousness of oneness, which I don't think you would have, because if you're still just all in the great oneness, your consciousness is different. This to incarnate is truly, I feel, a gift
Mm-hmm.
because that's how you come to the knowing of
Absolutely.
the oneness in a way that you wouldn't if you never incarnated.
No,
That's my
no,
little spiel on the.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's cool.
no, I think that makes a lot of sense to me, absolutely. And because it's also like going through the journey of remembering, right? And going through the
Yeah.
journey of
Yes.
connecting to your higher self and remembering that, yeah, you do have these innate psychic abilities. But anyway, so I'm doing these readings and I'm like, I see this Vizsla, we have this really in-depth conversation, and this dog is actually able to use some words to telepathically communicate with me, which is interesting because most of the time animals communicate in like thought forms, or they communicate in images, like pictures. And it's not typically unless an animal's incarnated so many times that they can really use words. And also, like, English is not the only language, right? So I've encountered some animals who I had to do like a translation of sorts through my guides. It was really interesting because that dog had not been around
Chihuahua.
English before, but been around like I think it was Spanish, and so that was really
And so
fascinating.
your Chihuahua is speaking Spanish, your Poodle speaking French.
The German Shepherd speaking German.
I was just going to say, your Dachshund is speaking
We're
German.
going. Irish setter speaking Irish.
And it's like it's so funny because it's really like well, you know, you have to understand. So like, I'm just a monoglot, right? Because I only speak English and I can read French, but I don't speak another language because I was part of the U.S. Public school system, and so
Right.
right. And meanwhile, like some of my international friends, they speak like 4 languages.
I know.
Because they have to.
I wish I had. Yeah.
And so anyway, but I get this beagle, and she's the next dog right after this Vizsla, and this beagle is dressed up in like in a little jack-o'-lantern outfit, and she's just a baby. She's 9 months old. Oh my gosh, she's just a little baby dog. And I'm talking to her person. So when I'm doing a reading, I'm talking to the human being that's in front of me while I'm having this psychic, like telepathic communication with the animals. I have 2 different conversations, and every now and again somebody's guides come in and I'm like, I don't need to hear it. I'm talking to this dog. Right?
Yeah.
And
We're
so
open
I'm
over
trying
here,
to
not
like,
over there.
I'm like playing defense over here. I'm like, y'all you gotta stop talking because I can't hear what this dog is saying, and then talk to me. So there's truly a lot going on, and I feel like ADHD in that way is my superpower to be able to kind of differentiate. But I have this beagle, and the whole time I'm talking to this person, she's telling me about like where she got the beagle, and anyway, and she bought this beagle off some people who were kind of sketchy, and she worried about contributing like a backyard breeder, but she just couldn't leave this little beagle, and she bought her in like a parking lot of like I don't know, like a Kroger or something, or like a Walmart, something like that, right? And this beagle, this whole time that I'm talking to this lady, and she's being like emotional because she's like, I hope I didn't contribute to this backyard breeder, etc. And I'm being compassionate with her, right? And I'm like, you know, you did the best thing you could with the information you had, right? And this little dog was just happy as could be to be with this woman. And this dog is going, I love the fish. I want more fish. I love the fish. And she's showing me that this dog is showing me a visual of these animated fish. And I'm asking the lady, I'm like, she keeps saying that she loves the fish. And she's like, well, she has a fish toy. And I'm like, it's not a fish toy. I'm seeing moving fish, but it does not feel like an aquarium. And I asked, I'm like, do you have an aquarium? She said, no. And I said, I didn't think so. What is it? Because she says she wants more fish. She loves the fish. She wants to see the fish. And she kept saying, I want to see the fish. And she said, well, I put on dog TV last night, and it was an aquarium. And I was like, that is the only thing that this beagle, who's a very new soul, was just like, I love fish.
That's so great. That is so great. I love it.
Cool. And her name was like Peanut or something, just really adorable, right? And I'm like, okay, Peanut, you know, that was very deeply intellectual conversation. But so you don't go in with the expectations.
Baby.
Yeah, she's a baby.
She's just a little baby.
She
So
wants a fish. Oh,
She
and she
was
had
like,
pumpkin. Did she like her pumpkin costume, or did she know she was wearing
that dog had about 3 brain cells, and I don't think that she cared if she had a pumpkin costume on.
it?
She was just happy to be alive.
That's
So,
great. I would like to be that dog.
right?
Watching the
Same.
fish, man, that sounds great.
I love the fish.
Can you ask Einstein something? Maybe he
Sure.
likes to bite, but he's playing. So what he does is he'll bite and then he'll start slowly pushing down, clamping. And we play no bites, and I'll do no bites, and I don't really close his mouth, but I put my hands very gently around his mouth. He can open it if he wants to. And Gandalf likes to do it for fun, but he doesn't bite hard. He'll nip, and I'll
Mhm.
go no bites, and he'll go
Yeah,
no
yeah.
bites. I don't know if Einstein's doing it for the same reason. He does it to everybody who pets him. He loves attention. So I don't know what that's about.
It's real basic. And this is like the least psychic answer ever. But when I ask him, this is so gross. He likes the taste of skin.
He licks skin. He licks
Yeah.
skin.
He
Yeah.
likes the salt or anything. Like if you've just been in the kitchen and it doesn't,
Oh,
uh,
he loves the
he,
kitchen.
he just, he's just a nasty cat. He's just a nasty boy.
Are you
Just
nasty
a nasty boy.
behind? Did you always have gunk in your eyes that Gandalf has to lick off?
Oh, yeah, I know. With my two, that happens
Ew.
too. I
They lick
know.
faces. They do. I posted a
I just
video of
let
them
him.
licking
Yeah,
faces on Facebook
yeah,
today.
yeah. I'm like, you know what? I just let them do what they do because
Yeah.
I also have to remind myself on a regular basis that these are also because I have two cats also,
Yeah,
but that
yeah.
these are also
Animal.
animals whose whole hygiene process includes, licking parts on themselves.
Everything on themselves.
It's
Everything.
like
Everything.
it's like step away. You're a human. You don't do it that way. They do it their way. It's fine.
There
Just
you go.
think about that the next time they want to
But
make kisses, right?
does Einstein want to eat us?
I love my life and the questions I get asked.
I
Is
had
he
to ask.
plotting? Is he just waiting for Lisa to just slip in the shower and hit her head one day? No. So that's not going to happen, by the way. But no, he's just a
He's really
nasty
funny. He
boy.
likes to watch other people eat. He likes food that much. Like
Yeah,
he'll watch and squint, do the love eyes at people when they're eating, and just like I can taste it too.
of course he does.
He's so cute.
He he doesn't want to eat you, but he does like to taste
To
you.
chew
So
and lick and
I'm sorry for
okay. I
that.
like the licks
It's
are
gross.
fine. I know no bites, right?
Yeah, it's the biting. Yeah, it's the biting that's a bit
Well,
of an
other
issue.
people.
Yeah,
I can unclench his jaw.
yeah, yeah,
Other people who don't know cats are like, "Oh, sweet kitty." Ah!
And
But he does it. He's just not an attack. He doesn't attack. He just gently
yeah.
puts his mouth
it just
on.
tastes.
He's just playing. He's just
Yeah,
getting taste.
just
Yeah.
taste. You
This is
know?
just hilarious because he never breaks skin. He never breaks skin.
No,
He never does.
Yeah.
He's good.
no,
Yeah.
No,
he doesn't
breaking
want to.
skin is serious. Then it's I'm
Yeah,
mad or I'm
Yeah.
scared or whatever.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, this is just a whole sensory experience.
Yeah.
It is a nasty sensory experience for your nasty little cat.
He's a nasty boy.
He's
I was
He's a
just like,
nasty.
nasty
you hear
boy.
that? You're a nasty little boy. He's purring. He loves it. He loves being called the nasty little. He loves it. Of course he does. So, listeners and watchers, Kimmie also talked about something very interesting, and she's going to come back and talk to us about this. But I just want to throw this out there to get you a little excited about it. Creatures, basically mythical creatures. She's teaching class about it, and she wants to come back after she teaches the class so she knows more, like what kind of questions we might have. And so, do you want to tell us a little bit about the creatures?
Yeah, and so on the 28th of this month, and I only have 4 spots available, and I'm guessing they will probably get all taken up. But so I'm out of Knoxville. I'm out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm teaching a mythical creatures class with my friend Jennifer. And one night I was just kind of like laying on my couch, like just rotting on my phone, right? And I'm like, I want to teach a class about dragons and unicorns. And I'm like,
Hey,
hey Jennifer, what if we did a mythical creatures class? And we just rolled with it. And so I'm going to be talking about, or we are going to be talking about dragons, selkies, mermaids, griffins, unicorns. Those are our main. That will be our main focus for this upcoming class. And hello.
This is Mr. Gandalf.
Oh, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
made
See
his
the belly.
appearance.
See the belly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard right now. It's hard right now. So
It's
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
no, you're
He
fine.
wanted to
Yeah,
see you.
he's very uncomfortable.
Is he?
Yeah,
I'll take him to the vet tomorrow. I've been wondering about it because this didn't start until about 3 months ago, and I don't know why it's getting hard like that. But then it went down for a couple weeks to a month, and now it's starting to do that again.
I would do blood work just to check on like liver levels. I don't think it's anything like that, but I would just in case.
Yeah, of course.
And would definitely get him on a digestive enzyme.
Okay.
For sure. And the probiotics and prebiotics.
Oh, you can feel it. Oh, my poor
yeah,
baby.
it hurts. Yeah, buddy.
We'll make you better. She said you hurt so bad, we're gonna make you better.
Oh, he's a sweet cat. He's
very
smart.
sweet.
He's a very, very smart cat.
Yes, he is. They both are, but this one, oof. He's a Gandalf the Grey. The wizard. He's a cat too. And a gray.
Of course he's a wizard.
He has a million names.
He's a lot less devious than Einstein is.
Yeah, he's not as big, but it's just that stomach being hard that makes him, he's a sneezer. He's a sneezer.
Well, I mean, he's just a little less of a little shit, is what I'm saying.
He's not gonna eat me.
Yeah, no, I don't think he needs to taste you. I think he's no, don't think so. It's funny though. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I totally just got myself off track. But mythical creatures, so everybody has, or a lot of people have a mythical creature that they relate to or identify with. And so we're going to be talking about like how to find your mythical creature if you don't have one that you're already really interested in, right? And how to like integrate working with your mythical creature in everyday life. And it doesn't have to just be one, it can be a lot, right? So most people with fairy energy have a lot of fairies around them, right? Like I have a lot of dragons, I have some fairies, but I have a lot of unicorn energy too. And those kind of all like they come out in different ways whenever I'm doing spiritual work. And so like it's like almost like they help me, but they especially help me when I'm doing manifestation magic and that kind of stuff. Or healing work is really, really awesome. That's great to work with like the fairies and unicorns and stuff, especially unicorns really come through for healing work. And so there are oracle decks that you can buy that are mythical creature oracle decks that have different mythical creatures on them. There is like, I have a unicorn deck that I love. It's called The Magic of Unicorns. And I think it was like $20 from Amazon or something. And it's
the oracle deck.
Okay. And so that's a way to integrate working with your mythical creature, but we're going to have a mythical creature meditation. And my friend Jennifer is going to lead that because I'm not good with anything that has to do with meditation, but she is. And so she's going to lead that part. And so that'll be very cool. And
cool.
Like you were saying, we're probably, after I kind of understand more about once I get some feedback and I understand what people want to hear about, then I'd like to come back on and we can do
absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That'll be great.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure our audience is looking forward to that. That'll be phenomenal.
Absolutely. And Donna, do you have any questions for Kimmie? Anything you've been walking around your brain that you've been thinking about?
I guess for me, especially for people who, love animals, have companion animals, pets. Is there like kind of a tip or a pointer that maybe you could give people just as a starting point so that if they want to get into the practice of communicating directly? I mean, I know working with an animal communicator is great to do, but sometimes people want to see or feel that they can have that direct dialogue or that direct connection. Any tip or advice that they might be able to use or to get started down that road?
Absolutely. And that's a really great question. And that's something I really wanted to cover in this episode too, because I feel like as collective consciousness is just growing and growing and growing, animals are, again, sacred healers and sacred knowers. And so being able to connect with them on your own and having that confidence in yourself, that is just a building block to having more confidence in what you see with your own intuition, or maybe even with mediumship or whatever, right? And so there's a few things. Number one, animals communicate through a heart-to-heart connection. So I like to open up my heart space, and I don't have to worry about who I'm talking to because I know I'm talking to that animal. I will ask clients to send me a picture of an animal with their eyes open, where I can clearly see them, because eyes are the window to the soul, right? Or if I'm in person, I will take typically my left hand, since you receive information through your left hand, or through your left side, and I'll put it kind of in between their shoulder blades. It's sort of like when you do Reiki training and you're told, okay, when you work with animals, you put your hand between their shoulder blades to give the healing, or to kind of do a body scan. And so same thing with communication if you're with them. So like on a horse, you just try to reach up as far as you can. And you always ask, right? You always ask, well, like I would like to communicate. And you're doing this in your head. So you're trying to establish a connection with them in your head. And it's really important not to overthink it and just to let it happen. And you might hear a yes, you might hear a no, you might hear it's very unlikely for them to say no, because animals just get tickled when you can talk to them. And not that they're all just like, not that I'm not trying to say that animals are always very, very high vibrational beings, but they tend to be. Right. Like they do tend to be, for the most part, they are. And so even snakes or things like that you don't really think of as high vibrational beings, that's not really the case. They can go really high or they can go really low. Right.
Just like people, right?
Just like people, but a lot less complicated than people. And so you still want to ground and you still want to protect yourself. But I like to envision like a line of energy between my heart and the animals. And I just say, would you like to communicate? And I try to establish that heart-to-heart connection. I open my heart space first. And if they say yes, then I kind of envision the heart-to-heart connection.
That's really interesting, because when you first on Zoom, I felt my heart chakra open. And while we were talking, I usually just kind of, it's always kind of going, but it just went whoop when you started talking about animals and stuff. And I guess that was when you were talking about it, you were doing it. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. That's really awesome. I love that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that, like with the heart and connect to the heart chakra, like a cat, or the animal.
Definitely.
That's really cool. Thank you. I never tried that. So that's something I haven't tried.
Well, and like I also like to envision like a big golden heart too. And I'll make my heart like a big golden heart, and I'll say, so I can show them like, I'm peaceful and whatever, like I'm safe to talk to. But really an animal knows that anyway. But it's just, for me, the visual of the golden heart is helpful.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
And then also, it's important to have some confidence in yourself when you do this, right? And so what I like to tell people so I do teach this class, I charge a whole whopping $30. I am going to start offering it on my website.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
Well, I want it to be accessible. And so I do teach it locally in Knoxville, but for listeners or whomever, if they want to take the class, you can always reach out to me on my website and say, I would like to purchase this class from you. I don't have it up on my website yet because I've been trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to go about I didn't know if it was going to be like a module thing, but I think I'm just going to record it via Zoom and then send that recording, and then also send my PowerPoint with it. Because I have a very detailed PowerPoint that comes with it.
Nice.
What is your website?
It is KimmiePsychicIntuitive.com.
Okay.
I think, unless it's Kimmie Halliburton. Is it terrible that hang on, girl? Is that weird? No, it's KimmieHalliburtonPsychic.com. I was like, wait a minute. What is it? Is it Kimmie Psychic Intuitive? So it is.
After you
feel free to edit that out.
I'm
Well,
psychic,
and
but I don't know my name.
we put everything. We put everything. Your
Yeah,
That's
anything fun in the
great.
description,
yeah.
we put it in
We put
there.
all your contact, whatever contact information you want our audience to have. We'll make sure it's on the episode.
I
Yeah,
just
the episode description. Yeah.
feel free to cut that right out and go straight to the correct answer because I
That's too good.
my email thanks. My email is Kimmie Psychic Intuitive,
Yeah.
and then I get it confused with my Kimmie Halliburton Psychic, which is my
Okay.
Why
Web
did it make me
address.
match?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why did I not make me match? What is wrong with me? Anyway, I'm not talking about me. Anyway, let's talk about animals.
Well, I was gonna. At this point, I wanted to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app for where you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And Donna and I are both advisors on there. I'm Lisa Russick on Everclear.
And I'm Maria M. So far, we're in the process of we're going to be switching over at some point to just my actual given name, like you see here, Donna
I
Murphy.
did that too. I was Lisa P on there, and I changed it.
Yeah. And evidently that's an administrative task that I am not directly able to just go in and change myself, but they've assured me that they're working on it. So for right now, you can look for me as Maria M.
That's right. And Kimberly, lastly, we can talk about animals some more. We usually ask advice near the end of the podcast from you, and you've given so much amazing advice already. I don't know what to ask, Donna. Do you have any idea?
I think honestly, I think we've covered so much, but I just think that again, obviously, if people can go to your website, learn more. If anybody locally is able to attend the class that you've got coming up, I mean, I envy them if they're able to. I can't get to Knoxville, but
yeah, no, I can.
yeah,
Though.
I just think I think it's just. I mean, there's a really exciting and inspiring world to explore. And I think anybody who, again, has a pet companion animal, loves animals of, all kinds, whatever, there's like another world. It's our world, but it's also their world. And having those two kind of intersect and overlap. And I think it's just very enriching. And I think it's really good for our hearts and souls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely agree. And I would like to give just a little bit more advice if that's
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. So you know what advice to give. Good.
Yes.
So it's important to remember, like, you can always communicate with wild animals. If you have wild animals come into your yard, like let's say you start seeing foxes, maybe you look up the spiritual meaning of foxes, especially if you relate that to someone or if you've had someone who's passed recently. A lot of people relate visitor animals to cardinals, right? But it's so much more than that. If you start seeing a deer, that really stands out. Look up the spiritual meaning of deer. It's not everything has a meaning to it.
I always look up the spiritual meaning when an animal crosses my path, is what I call it. In some way, they're like, "Ah," screaming at me,
Yes.
It's a very obvious sign. Yeah, you can tell, but it's a sign. Yeah.
Very, very, very obvious sign. And so, but also as far as like animals that are domesticated, like one great way to practice is, let's say you ask a family member or friend or something, like where they have a dog or a cat, but they don't like, you don't know the details about like their health condition or whatever, right? You can always ask them to send a picture and then just think of the first 3 things or first 4 things that pop up for you. Like, what do you see? What do you feel? Don't overthink it. Believe what you hear the first time. It's so important to believe what you hear the first time.
It is. Yeah. It's good point.
Yeah. And once you establish that confidence, then you can start really believing in yourself when you have intuitive hits about other things. And then maybe Right? Like maybe
Yeah.
that's intuition that leads to you discovering that maybe a friendship is not very good for you. And then you end up leaving that friendship, right? Or a relationship, or maybe you get better insight about a job or something. But there's
Yeah.
so much value in meeting animals where they are.
Yeah.
But it's always, you know, especially with wild animals, I tell people to give lots of space and lots of respect. And so
Mhm.
for me, I have this, it's almost like I have a dear friend of mine. His name is Scott Vaughn. And Scott is an amazing psychic, but he is mostly retired. Um, but but he always tells me that crows are my security detail. And so I will see them frequently. And it's not just that I see them, I get crows to follow me, especially when I'm having like a really, really hard time. And people will be like, do you know that these crows have been around you
You
all
have a
day?
murder behind you?
Like,
Yeah,
do you know? And
exactly.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And I remember like just simple things. Like sometimes I've gotten so used to these crows talking to me or squawking at me whenever I
That's
come out of the
cool.
house that I will say, like I have a migraine condition, and I'll say, am I going to need to take my emergency meds today? Which I know I shouldn't ask that because I'm also in control of that, right? But sometimes I'm just like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling great. Should I just go ahead and take my emergency meds? And I remember walking into an Aldi one day and I was thinking, do I need to take these meds? And there was this crow on top of Aldi just looking down, and I'm like, okay,
One crow
fine,
was lost.
right? And I started getting the migraine in Aldi, and it's like, I should have done that earlier. But this crow's like, yes, you
Yeah.
need that. Go ahead and take it. So I did.
Oh, it
And it
did
would have
say
been
it.
worse
Okay.
had
Okay. So
I
it was letting
not.
you know to do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
That's really
so
cool.
it's just, you can ask,
I
right?
remember
Yes.
one time when I was shopping for last time I only shopped for a car once, and I went shopping for my car a few years ago. And I was looking at a Jeep, and as I pulled back in after I drove it, this crow about this big. It was like the biggest crow, maybe this. I don't know, it was probably like 3 feet tall,
Yeah.
2 feet tall crow, standing in the
Wow.
spot, and I wouldn't even walk when I was trying to park. And the guy got out and had to kind of shush it, and then I parked, and I was like, I don't think I'm getting this car.
Don't get that
I'm like, that's a
car.
big crow. It does not want to go anywhere. It's saying, don't take this car.
Don't take that
I could feel it
car.
from that
Yeah.
crow, it's saying, don't, bad idea.
So just trusting that is so important. I think especially like in a time when people are totally inundated with like bad stuff from the news or just energy around
Yeah.
them that's
True.
really chaotic. And
Yeah.
so reconnecting with nature is really important. And always listen, I'm the worst person in the world to meditate.
Yeah,
But some people are not, and meditation's a really helpful tool as well.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
But what I would also say is that anytime that you're feeling like you really can't connect, like go into your heart space, and if you can feel it, it's like that saying, like if you feel it in your chest, like, oh, I feel it in my chest, then you know
Yeah.
it's real,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you really feel his
Yeah.
messages come into your chest and your heart space, then you know it's real.
Yeah.
So
That's so
that is
cool.
that is advice that I have to
That's
your.
great advice, man. I could.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
wonderful.
I do have one more question. I'm just curious
Yes.
if you have an answer. If you talked about the dog that you spoke with, who was in training to be like a dog who had assistance dog.
Yeah.
When with animals who are like companion animals for emotional support, have you ever
Mhm.
talked to any of them?
Oh yeah.
What
Yeah.
are they? What are they like? What are they about? Because they're so
They
good.
They know
So
their
calm.
jobs. I mean, they know their jobs, and they still, like, it's very important to remember, just like we have 3D bodies and 3D realities, even though we're like these multidimensional beings, so are animals, right? And so whenever you have it's so funny that you asked that, because I had an animal communication talk. It wasn't a class, but it was a talk that I was doing just for donations for a local group in Knoxville. And it's called Just Because. And it's a bunch of women run this group. And anyway, it's super cool. It's at this place called the Oasis Institute. And
Cool.
I was actually, I think, their last speaker, because I believe they're moving locations. But anyway, I have faith that they're going to continue, hopefully, because they do great work. But at this Just Because meeting, this man had a service dog. And that service dog was he was like, his name was Magic, which I thought was really cool.
Oh,
And
I
he was
like that.
this Australian Shepherd. And Magic was like, he knew that I could talk to him. And he's like, wait a minute. He's like, can I help you? like, can I show people? So I had him walk around. I asked the
Oh,
person if it was okay, and he was fine with it. And
hospitality.
that dog was so happy, and he walked around with the owner's permission. And I had people touch between his shoulder blades, and that dog was like, "This is so fun." And he's like, I do so much work, but this is really fun. Like, this is actually
Cool.
really fun. I don't always get to have fun.
Yeah.
Right. And
Wow, I love that.
he was not upset about that. He's very much there for his person.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not a burden. It's just that they're so used to, it's like if you get to go on an
Like
extra
being a
long
parent, kind of, and you get to get away from
Yeah.
your parents for a night, or kid for a night, and you worry
Yeah,
about the child, but you're like relaxed and happy.
exactly. And it is kind of like that. And so it's not really any different. It's just that they
They
know.
do know. That's what I was wondering. I
They
always
do
thought they
know.
Yeah.
knew. They seem like they are very comfortable with the role.
Oh,
They know and they love doing it. They seem like they absorb all the energy from the person of sadness or anxiety when they're holding them and petting them or whatever they have doing with them out and wherever they are. I just think it's cool.
oh, and
Yeah.
But and listeners, I did find this out. If you ever want to get your cats to be a service animal, you can't do that, but you can get them to be emotional support animals, and that's how you can get them in the airplane with you and in your apartment with you, and they can't take pets. So you can get your cats to be emotional support animals and dogs. So you can do that if your vet will sign for it. I've heard
yeah,
that. I've heard that. And I think your therapist might have to sign for it too if you have one or something like that. Something like
Mhm.
that goes on, but it's really cool. I've learned a little bit about that. Anyway, last question. Last question. Do you love our listeners and our watchers?
oh yeah,
Good.
absolutely. And and no, and I'm really grateful to be in this space, and I thank all the listeners and all the watchers and the two of you for creating that space. It's almost like it ripples, right? It's We have so many terrible things going on in the world, but we also have a lot of good things. And I think
Yeah.
that's really important to remember. And so,
Remember.
as our collective consciousness, and I don't mean to sound cheesy, but like it truly is expanding and growing.
Mhm.
And so, your listeners and your watchers and the two of you are creating space and creating ripples.
And you?
And, and, and
And
apparently,
all of our great guests.
Yeah.
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
That just builds more of a, not just an energy of support, but like a community of support. And even if we're not necessarily really close to each other in proximity, it's still important for us to ripple out.
Mhm.
And I feel that so frequently. And I cannot tell you I mean, since I decided, see, I didn't always offer readings to the public. So I'm a medium, I'm a psychic, I do all the things, right? There's not really a lot I don't do. I do Akashic Records, I do Reiki. I have like a whole plethora of energy work plethora. That's how you pronounce
You're a
that.
reader.
I grew up in rural Tennessee, so I can say plethora. It's an excuse. But I had a friend today call me out on that. She's like, she's like, did you just say plethora? And I was like, shut up, Stephanie.
It's a Greek creature. It's a Greek creature. The plethora. It will eat you, burn you. Somehow.
But it's like I have all these things that I do. And again, if you are interested in reading or anything, you can reach out to me on my website. You can call, text, whatever. My info's on there. But it's just so fascinating to me to see all the space that people are creating
Right
like
now,
all the
it's
spaces.
crazy. It's great. I think it's wonderful and lovely too.
Yeah.
Thank you
It's
so
really
much.
cool. Yeah,
Thank you
you're
so
so
much. You've been an
welcome.
awesome guest, and I've really loved the podcast. And I can't wait till you come back and tell us all about the creatures.
Yes,
And your
absolutely.
class and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if I
I'll be
could
looking
drive right
forward
now,
to
I
it.
had seizures in September and I can't drive until March 15th. But when I can drive again and you have another class, I might have to come to that in Knoxville. It's not too far away from me. So, yeah,
There you go.
love that.
We're very
And lastly, I guess forgetting something. Listeners and watchers, I love you.
Yes.
Yeah. Goodbye. And have a great time wherever you
Love
may
you
be. Peace out.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Bye
you.
for now.
Bye.
Bye for now. Exactly.